This is a 1954 Ford F100 short bed pickup truck. And this thing's super cool. Great hot rod style truck. It's got a upgraded drivetrain, tilt steering wheel. You touch the key, it fires right up. It's got a CD player. Does it best to smile at me. Two 6x9s behind the seat. And the cool thing I like about the way they did the CD player too is, you know, they put it under the dash, so they didn't compromise the dash. And then where the original holes would have been, they kind of elongated that and put in some gauges which are working. Got your temp gauge, voltometer, and oil pressure, which is going really good. This truck just drives awesome. I mean, the engine runs perfect, transmission shifts out great. It's got a Chevelle front clip on it, so it's got power disc brakes, power steering in the front, independent front suspension. It's got a small block Chevy 350 with a 2-barrel car, so it actually gets pretty good gas mileage for being a hot rod, and automatic transmission shifts out perfect. 10-bolt rear end, GM rear end. Now it is GM all underneath. Some guys don't care about that, some guys don't really like it. It's not my favorite. It is a Ford. The last Ford hot rod truck I had in was a 55, and it had a, you know, Ford had a Mercury 429 engine, and you know, everything was Ford under the hood, and I kind of like that better, but this is still cool. The engine just runs superb. I mean, everything about this truck is just it's just a cool hot rod. Let me pop this hood real quick and show you underneath. We didn't spend a lot of time finally detailing under the hood, but the engine is dialed in perfect. No exhaust leaks or anything like that. No oil leaks, no tranny leaks. The timing's dialed in just great. You can hear it. It just sounds awesome. Like I said, you've got power steering, power brake booster, power brake. There are disc brakes in the front. It's got a nice sounding exhaust. It's not too aggressive, but it does have a good, you know, old hot rod truck sound to it. Personally, I'd probably throw some Flowmasters on there or something just to give it a little bit more aggressive sound. That's just what I like. But it's got some old cherry bombs on it, and they sound really good and classic. The hood opens and closes easily. It's got the primary and secondary latches on it. Very cool truck. The body's good and straight overall. If you get up real close on it, which we'll do in a second, it's got a couple of little dimples on it here and there, but overall in great shape. I'm gonna call this thing like 98% rust free. It's basically a rust free truck, but it's got a couple of little spots on it, and I'll show you in just a second. Very minor, you got kind of hard to see. It's got new cab corners all the way across the back. The cab, or both cab corners were redone. And what they did is actually, the guy who was doing this hot rod style actually was deleting the, where the gas nozzle, the original fuel nozzle was. So that's where you would go and put the gas in, on the driver's side, down low. Now, if it was me, I might go back with the original tank or put a 55 tank in it, which is behind the seat. It's got a fuel cell in it. It's not my favorite, but some people think it looks super cool. It just kind of adds to the hot rod motif. So it's got a fuel cell in it. It's kind of a military fuel cell. It's painted the same color as the wheels. Interior kind of tie it all in together. The tailgate looks like new. I mean, it's very clean, straight. And like I said, we'll get up a little bit closer. It's kind of tough to see. It is a matte black paint job. It's got a couple of little spots. There's a spot there. Probably that's where there was always an original seam on all these trucks. And a lot of times they get kind of bonded over, skim coated. So that's got a little bit of skim coat right there on it, popped. And I mean, it's a hot rod style truck, so this is not probably ready to be painted with like a really high-end paint job. It would need to be blocked and sanded and skim coated in a few spots, but like I said, overall pretty clean, pretty straight. The tires are brand new, and those are actually brand new Porta Walls. Porta Walls are fakey white wall tires. Really easy to take off and put on, not too expensive, and give it a really cool classic hot rod look. Just got a piece of plywood in the back. Really easy to finish that off though with some bed slats. Kind of almost, you can really make it look like it's got a wood bed in it just by putting the slats in. A lot of guys do that. A lot of guys are looking for a truck like this because it's as is, it's ready to rock and roll. It needs very, very little things to finish it up, but nothing major. It has carpet on the bottoms, usually right here. This piece of carpet's come off, but it does maintain the door panel, which is nice. Sometimes those are missing. The windows do roll up and down like they should easily. No cracks. The glass in the windshield and the back and the sides looks to be new, but the vent windows are still original, and they can have the old yellow bubbling on there. It's got new floor pans. They look really good, and they look like they were professionally done. In fact, the transmission cover has still got a sticker on it from where somebody paid $55 for it. So you can tell that that's all brand new underneath this carpet. It looks great. It is missing the gas pedal itself, and I actually got a gas pedal that I could put on it if somebody wanted it. It's a 1970 Mustang gas pedal, and it screws right on there really easily. Tilt steering, lights, brake lights, turn signals, all that works great. The vent opens up. This is the old school air conditioning right here, right? So I'll push on that. You can see that the vent goes up. I'm trying to show you that. There you go. And I do believe also that the fan works. Pull the switch, and that is hooked up. The heater core is working. It's got a newer, probably 80s model, 70s, 80s model bench seat in it. Looks pretty clean. It's got one little hole there. It looks like there was some electric tape put on that to cover it up. No headliner. Underneath of the truck looks really clean and good. And there's little spots of Bondo and skim coat in here and there on the truck. It's not, like I said, this is not something that somebody was making into a show truck. This is like a super cool daily driver. Okay, there's a couple spots of rust that I was telling you about. There's one little spot down there, if you can see at the bottom, about the size of a dime, maybe the size of a quarter. The bottoms of the doors look like they're in good shape. The step-ups are in great shape. Like I said, little spot of rust back there. We really do try to do our best to show you guys stuff in the videos. I've also got on my website a page that says before you buy. I always recommend people look at that, read it. You know, it kind of just goes through kind of the reality check of what you're getting into when you're buying an old truck like this. We try and do our best to be as honest as possible about anything that might be wrong with it. That's why I take my time to do like a 10-minute drive, video inspection. And you're always welcome, of course, to have an independent inspection done. Good, rust-free frame. I mean, the underneath of this truck looks really, really good. Try to give my camera some time to adjust there. Nice, clean, rust-free fender wells, except for those couple of spots that I've showed you. Nice, clean, rust-free step-ups. In fact, they look almost new, except the one on the other side did. Maybe not. Maybe just really, really clean, because there was that one little spot of rust on the other side. Same over here. And finally this one. Little spot of Bondo right there, looks like covering up a little rust spot. That's not unusual in a hot rod style, rat rod style truck or car, for the guys to go around. They're not fixing up the rust. In fact, sometimes you're leaving the rust exposed to give it that kind of old rusty look, and But anyways, great driving truck. I've actually, in fact, my wife and I went up and picked this truck up, which we don't often do. But the guy that we got this truck from actually got a truck from about 3 or 4 months ago, and I was so pleased with that one. I said, if you ever get another one, call me back. And he did. This is almost exactly like the other truck I bought from him. And it was exactly like he said. Older gentleman, great driving truck. We were up in North Georgia, about 3 hours from the house, and I drove it home. No overheating. Ran perfect, does 70 miles an hour down the freeway like it's nothing. This is the truck that I think that everybody's looking for. This is the truck that I have a hard time letting go of, because this is a cool thing. It's running, driving, good tires. It doesn't need anything expensive. It's ready to rock the way it is. Somebody's gonna have a blast with it.